Today I'm going to show you how to clip a queen's wing using nail scissors. So there's a number of reasons that people clip their queen's wings, and the reason that I do it is to avoid my bees ending up in my neighbour's chimney. If you don't clip a queen's wing, when a colony of bees like this naturally reaches peak population in the spring, they'll go out and they will attempt to swarm. Now what that means is that roughly 50% of the bees in a box 5 or 6 times bigger than this one will leave with the queen and they go off in search of a new home. Now that could be in their chimney, it could be in their fascia, it could be just on a tree in their garden. And for a beekeeper, when your colony of bees swarms, it gives you a real headache. You lose a lot of your honey crop, but also you have to go and apologise to your neighbour and try and get your bees out of their chimney. So it's just a lot easier to manage the queens properly by doing your regular inspections and doing your very best to try and keep that colony intact and not allow them to swarm. But even with the best intentions and the best inspection regime, the risk of swarming still remains. Now, clipping a queen's wing doesn't stop the colony swarming, but it stops that specific queen from swarming because it means that she can no longer fly. But the only reason that queen needs to fly is to go out and swarm. But when you take the very tip of one of the wings of the queen, then she can still get up, but she goes off balance and it means that she will not want to fly. That does not stop the colony swarming. All it does is delay it for about 3 or 4 days. So when the colony naturally tries to go out and swarm, the existing queen cannot fly, so she does not leave, and the bees often return back to the beehive. But in that process, they've created lots of swarm cells, and as soon as those swarm cells that contain young virgin queen bees emerges, the colony still goes off and swarms anyway. But what clipping your queen does give you is it gives you the ability to intercept that process by doing your weekly inspections. So if I go back a few years before I clipped queens, what would happen is I'd go in to do my weekly inspection, I'd pull out a frame, I'd see capped swarm cells, I'd see no queen, no eggs, I'd lost my bees, and I'd be really frustrated. Whereas what happens now is I go in and do my weekly inspections, exactly the same weekly inspection regime, and I find capped swarm cells, there's no eggs, and I'm thinking, the queen's definitely not here, she swarmed, but she is still there. But not only is she still there, all of the bees are still there as well, and it gives you the chance to make a split. It gives you the chance to do something without the bees just leaving and going into a very difficult place. So for me, clipping the queen's wing is an absolute no-brainer. It's something that I do on all of my colonies. We don't do them on the nukes that we send out. We don't do it on the queens that we send out due to risks of supersedure and introduction. But I do recommend as soon as you get your colony into your apiaries to go ahead and clip your queens, and then that way you really will limit the risk of swarming as long as you're doing your weekly inspections. So enough talking, let's get in, find the queen, and I'll show you how to clip her. So here's my queen, a UK mated 2025 overwintered F1 buckfast queen, and look at all of that beautiful brood as well. So I'm going to trim this queen's wing up with a pair of really nice sharp German nail scissors. I only use this for trimming queens. You don't want to get any wax or propolis on it. You want to keep them nice and sharp. And the simplest way that I found to do it is to take off any gloves, and you just want to go down, pin the queen in so she can't move, but then go in and cut the back of her wing off. So not the neatest cut, that one, but perfectly acceptable, and you can see the queen is just back off now, walking around laying eggs straight away again. The idea is to try and just get the tip of one, but you can get the tip of 2. The tip of 2 works just as well. So don't worry too much about getting it perfect. Don't worry too much about getting it just one wing. Worry more about just taking the tiny little tip off, and that's enough to put the queen off balance and stop her flying. But come and have a look, Zane, come and zoom in. You can see the bees tending to her, the bees are fine. She's back preparing again, going to lay another egg. You can just see all of the bees tending to her, making sure she's okay, and she will wander off and get back to her duties. So I'm gonna get this clipped queen back in here, and I'm gonna hive up this beehive later on today as well. But hopefully clipping that queen's wing will stop this colony swarming and produce a really nice crop of honey throughout 2026. If you want to get the very best out of your bees and want to learn more about beekeeping, maybe check out our online course, 14-Day Beekeeper, that will turn you from a beginner to a competent beekeeper in just 14 days.